Okay, so in this video, I am going to show you how to solve some questions. First of all, in this first question, you are to show how we came to this formula S sub n. And as you're showing the word, you have to explain out loud as if you're teaching. So make sure you explain all cases. That is when R is 1 or when R is not 1, but it's either greater or smaller than 1, okay? So right now for this number 1 particular question, I am not teaching you. I am just showing you if I were a high school student like you and I'm given this homework and I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do, okay? So I'm going to be talking to myself, okay? But this is the greatest way to learn. Okay, so here we go. Sn is a summation of all the terms in a sequence, in this case geometric series. So first term will be a or a1 plus ar to the first power, ar to the second power, ar to its cube, ar to the fourth power, and it's going to go all the way to ar to n minus 1 power. So the one before will be ar n minus to the n minus 2 power. Okay. And then to this, what I'm going to do is I am going to write another one, but in this case, I am going to multiply everything by the ratio. Okay, so in this case, if I times AR, A to R, it will be AR. The next one, AR times R, will be AR square. AR square times R will be AR cube. So then on and on, it'll be one more R than all this because I'm timesing R. And it's gonna go all the way here. And this one to this, if I times another R, it's gonna be AR to n minus 1. Okay, so n minus 1 is one more than this. One more than this. Here, everything is one more here. So this is one more. So if n was 5, 5 minus 2 is 3, because 5 minus 1 is 4. And so here it will be n. Again, if it's 5, 5 minus 1 is 4, but this is 5, so these are just one more. And in arithmetic series, I subtract, but in this case, I added, we added, but in this case, we're to subtract. We are going to subtract like that. Here, to make it a little bit easy, Sn is the same thing as 1 times Sn. So I am going to take this one out from 1 minus R times Sn, S sub n, distribution. So here 1 times Sn will be that, minus R times Sn will be this. So I'm going to subtract all of this from the first one. So this one will stay. And then the minus AR1, AR minus AR cancels. AR square minus AR squared, they will cancel. So in that way, everything is going to cancel like this. And then I'll be left with AR to the nth power. So I'm going to write that down here. So it's going to be A minus AR to the nth power. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to times 1 because A is same thing as A times 1. And 1 minus R. So I'm going to take A out because they're both in there. 1 minus R to the nth power. I'm going to divide both by 1 minus R. This cancels. So this is going to be S sub n will be what? A times 1 minus R to the nth power over 1 minus R. So this is a formula, but there's a condition. R cannot be 1. Because if R is 1, it's going to be 0, and there's no such thing as having 0 on denominator. So this is must condition. Okay, now with this, we have another, we have to think about this case. Okay, so when R, we have a situation when R is smaller, when R is smaller than 1, we can use this. Because we don't want to have negative here and negative here, then the calculation becomes a little bit messy. That's why I'm going to just, let's see, this is true, but we will use this in case, oh, what should I say? Okay, I'll just write it here. So this, when r is smaller than 1, we can use this, okay? And it'll give me a positive number. Now, when r, oopsie. When r is bigger, when r is bigger than 1, when r is bigger than 1, here r is bigger than 1, we're going to use this one. Now they are the same thing, they are same, because if I times -1 here, if I times -1, it's going to flip r minus 1. Same thing, if I times -1, it's going to flip like that. So here's a negative, they cancel out, and there's a positive. Okay, so this is when r is not 1. But what if r is 1? When r is 1, S sub n means a times 1, a times 1, a times 1, a times 1. So it's going to be a plus, a plus, a plus, all the way to the nth power, nth place. So this is Sn, S sub n is n times a. So this will be the answer. Now, I'm going to summarize it very nicely here. Okay, summarize the above formulas in the box below neatly. So I'm going to start with when r is 1. When r is 1, S sub n is a plus, a all the way. And so Sn is n times a. So this is what we will use. And also, when r is not 1, when r is not 1, we have two scenarios. When r is smaller than 1 and when r is bigger than 1. So when r is smaller than 1, we use this one. S sub n is a times 1 minus r to the nth power, 1 minus r. And when it's bigger, we'll flip it, a r to the nth power minus 1 minus r minus 1. So easy way to remember this is that here's RR, here's 1, 1, okay? Whichever is bigger, you start with that. So here R is bigger than 1, so we put R first. Here 1 is bigger, so we put 1 first. I found that to be easy way to remember. So here's a question. Find S sub 8 for the geometric sequence that goes like this. Now when we look at this as formula, we need to know three variable, A, R, N, in order to find the series. So A, R, N, I'm gonna write it, it's A, R, N, but easy way to remember is R, A, N, ren. So let's see if I have ren, okay? So we have first term, which is 3. What about the ratio? Well, 6 divided by 3 is 2. So that's what it is. Okay, or 12 divided by 6 is 2. What about n? N is here, 8. Okay, there are 8 sequence. So we can use this. And so ratio is bigger than 1, so we're going to use this one. I suggest you always, not suggest, I'm going to require you to always write the formula, okay? Now we're going to plug things in. A sub 8. A is 3. R is 2. N is 8 minus 1. R is 2 minus 1. So bottom here is just 1. Okay, so we have 2 to the 8th power. 2 to the 8th power is, this is 256. Minus 1 is 255. Okay, so if I multiply this, S8, I'm sorry, this is S8. 1 is just 1. It will come to 765. So this is the answer. So what this means is there's a sequence that has 8 terms, and then if you add all of them, it's going to be 765. Now, it is very important that you memorize these. from, of course, these are easy, all the way to 2 to the 10th power, because they come out a lot. So you will save a lot of time if you memorize this. Well, we can know 2 to the 8th is 2 to the 4 power plus 2, times 2 to the 4, right? When the base is same, then we can add these. So it becomes x to the 5th power. Just like that, the base is same, so we can add it so that it becomes 2 to the 8th power. Now, if you think about this, is 4 of them. You can do this in your brain, So then 4 times 4. So this is 16 and 16. And you have memorized that 16 square is 256. You memorized this last year. Okay. Let's do next question. It's the same question, except the numbers are different. So S8. So let's find RAN. The first one is 3. Okay, and N is 8. What is a ratio? 1 divided by 3. Yeah, so it's 1 divided by 3. Okay, so then go ahead and write 8 times. Now, as you can see, R is smaller than 1. When R is smaller than 1, we use the one that starts with 1 first. Okay, so 8 times 1 minus R to the nth power over 1 minus R. We're going to plug things in. So S sub 8 is A is 3. 1 minus R is 1/3. And is 8. Over 1 minus 1/3. Okay, so I'm going to do the bottom one first because that's just easier. Okay, the bottom one, A sub, let's say A sub 8. The bottom one is, this is 3 over 3 minus 1 over 3, so 2/3. Okay, here we have 3, 1 minus, this is same thing as, well, I'm just gonna go, this is same thing as 1 over 3/8. Now, that's something we want to also memorize, although 8 doesn't come out very often. This is same thing as 1 over 2,187. So if I have 1 minus that, it would be same thing as right, because this is 1. Okay, so then the whole thing here becomes what? 2,186 over 2,187. So I'm gonna go ahead and, I should not have written that down. Okay, I'll just then do this, not skip this part, and then 2,187. Okay, so then that becomes 3, and then no, what am I talking? Oh, sorry. This is 1 over. This is 1 over. Yeah, this is that, right? So this is 1 over 2,187. So that becomes this, 2,186 over 2,187 over 2 over 3. Okay, it's a little complicated. Now what we want to do is, I want to see if this is divisible by 3. Okay, before you go on multiplying, always see if they reduce. And yes, they do, and that becomes 729. Now when you see 729, you have to immediately know that is 3/5. Okay, so if I write it again, 2,186 over 3/5 over 2/3, but the same thing as times, you flip it, right? 3 over 2. So this is even number, that becomes 1,093, and then they become 3 to the 4th power. So yeah, so then that's going to be 1,093 over 3 to the 4th power will be 243. So this will be the final answer. Okay, let's do this one. We're looking for S fifth. So ren, we write ren. Okay, N is 5. This is 5. R is 2. And oh, this is easy. A is 3. They just give it to you. So why don't you pause and you do the question. Okay, so R is greater than 1. So I'm going to use the one that starts with R. I'm going to plug in S to S fifth. S sub 5 is 3 times R is 2. 2 to the 5th power minus 1. R is 2 minus 1. S sub 5 is, now again, this in your brain, you have to know right away this is 32. So 32 minus 1 will be 31. The bottom is 1. So that's the easy one, right? If you times it, it's going to be, yeah, 93. 93. Okay, so once again, what does that mean? We have a sequence that's 5 terms that starts with 3, right? And then you add all of them, whatever they are, it becomes 93. So that's what it means. Okay, let me stop here.